Hello everyone, welcome to another video from Investing with a Difference. So we are going to start today's video with looking at the market. So as you know, and if you are already watching, we had a nice green candle here, which is great for the market. I think we needed some respite from all the negative direction all the tokens were moving. And if you know that I already was looking at the resistance levels of 63.90 and 65.50, and we are right now above them, so which is a very good sign. Let's have a closer look at what really happened here. So if you remember, this 63.90 resistance I had marked quite a few days back, and if you look at last night, so we were actually, this is the 63.87. This was exactly 63.90 was acting as a perfect resistance, which was great because this is what my analysis was telling me. And if you look at this, we touched this over the weekend a few times, and finally when yesterday night we broke out, it was a very good trading opportunity because we broke out and immediately we made a huge move and we directly went to 65.50, which was my next resistance level. We did not hold this resistance for a long, and we are now up, and again we are very close to $6,700. So this is something which I always talk about, like if you identify good resistance zones and you know exactly when to play, you can do a lot of good trades if you're an intraday trader. And these levels were very useful for us this time, and they played out perfectly. I'm not saying that it works out every time for me, but this was amazing because it followed the analysis which I had. And if you are watching some of my videos previously, or if you are on our Facebook channel, I posted these levels I think a few days back. But in general, I think it's a good news for the market, and this is a great sign that we even crossed the second resistance level very easily once we broke out of the major resistance we were stuck at over the weekend. Now, of course, we are still going to be facing challenges once we hit this 68.50 area, and this is a huge move. It can always come down again. We have not reversed the overall direction. While I think people are getting excited, I would like to see us making a new high above 68.50 area and potentially going to $7,000 before we get really confident about this move. Another thing is, of course, it is forming some sort of inverse head and shoulder pattern, which is great sign. So it looks nice. I think chart is looking beautiful, but it is not giving any confirmations yet that that the worst is behind us. But overall, I think, as I have been always recommending, it is always a great accumulation zone. This was not a bad price, even if the market goes down further, maybe $5,000 or whatnot. This was not a bad price if you look at very long term, and I was always recommending people to buy here. Now, what really was moving the market, I think one of the big news people are quoting is BlackRock begins exploration of Bitcoin. As you know, BlackRock is one of the biggest funds in equity, managing a lot of funds which are retirement funds, and all kind of people invest with BlackRock. They are a very big name. They have trillions of dollars, and even if they put like 1% allocation into Bitcoin, they can take the Bitcoin price to $100,000. So this was one of the reasons. But remember, this says that says nothing. This is just a news saying begins exploration. Of course, everybody is exploring Bitcoin. Why would they not do that? But then immediately, BlackRock CEO Fink comes on news channels and he says there is zero interest in cryptos from clients. Now, this is conflicting on the same day, and the reason why he would do that, I'm now more confident in this news that they are exploring crypto and they're exploring Bitcoin, because why does he have to come on the TV and say that, oh, there is zero interest? Because he doesn't want the price to run away too fast. He doesn't want to confirm that they're investing in Bitcoin, because then his clients will not get a good price when he enters Bitcoin market. And all these big funds, they cannot just do it in a short term. They have to set up a lot of process, a lot of audit trails, a lot of ways of implementing a custodian duties, and those kind of things are the reason why they cannot move fast. They need to build a full framework to support these kind of investments, and they have to come and say that this news is false. And this gives me more confidence that they are really preparing for crypto investments, because they do not want it to run away too fast. Otherwise he would not care to comment about it. And so this news, I would say, was nothing much till I saw this interview from Blackrock CEO on Bloomberg, and this is how we should interpret. This is how they manipulate the market, you can call it, but I don't want to use a manipulate word. Everybody is looking out for their clients, and this is how the financial markets work. Now, what is big news for us? I think we are not really BlackRock, but I think what I care for is the news that Block.one is still raising funds, and now look at who is now joining them. It is Peter Thiel. Now, Peter Thiel is a huge influencer in Silicon Valley, and if you don't know him, he was the early investor in Facebook. He was also the founder of PayPal, and so on. So I think he's a pretty much seen as a visionary. He has made some great investments, and now that and another big thing is the Bitmain guy. That is I think he's a billionaire in China. He's done a lot of great investments recently, and Bitmain is already big on Bitcoin because they are making so much money and building processors for Bitcoin mining. And now they realize that DPoS, that delegated proof of stake, which EOS is using, that can kill their business if EOS is successful. So they are hedging their bets on investing in EOS, because they must have identified that EOS is the best play. If proof of work, which is the mining pools, go away, if Bitcoin is not successful in long run, and even if Bitcoin is successful, that's a currency. Things like Ethereum, which are kind of really struggling right now because of the high fees and the clogged networks, they need to hedge their bets. So I think that's where we are seeing more and more bigger investments coming. But what it also means is the confidence people are showing in EOS. While all the FUD is around, people are talking about why EOS is not doing good, and all the centralization talk. You look at these people who really can filter out all the FUD, and they understand that what a good job Block.one is doing and the potential of it. So this is, I think, something great news, I think, for EOS holders. And as you know, that EOS is already turning around. So let's quickly look at the chart of EOS. And while the market, the Bitcoin is moving up, I think we had pretty nice similar high candles for EOS, and we are almost touching $8 now, while we were settling down at 7 for some time. We reviewed it even yesterday, and I think now we are looking at $8 mark already, which is great. Now, what else was happening over the weekend? I think there is this news which I think a lot of people have been asking me questions. What do I think about it? Now, did EOS manipulate the Ethereum network? Now, of course, EOS officially has denied it. And I think what this article is referring to, some Reddit posts which has been talking about what really happened. Let's open that link if we can while we look at this news. So they are talking about iFishYunyu is an account or the which was really creating this kind of a spam. Now, I would say Ethereum is well known to clog, even with crypto like kitties and whatnot, and even Fcoin recently, which was an exchange opening up on Ethereum, and it was blocking the Ethereum chain. Why would somebody spend so much of money to just short-term clogging of Ethereum network? It doesn't give you anything. So this is kind of a funny argument, but of course this guy has done investments. Maybe somebody is trying to prove a point, and I would say we should not worry about who is doing that. We should talk about why it is possible to spam a network. Then what will happen to that blockchain in long run? How can you run applications which need real-time transactions? What will happen to that blockchain when they start deploying real important applications? And anybody, by using a little bit of money, few $1 million is going to be very small money in the blockchain world once we start seeing $1 trillion valuations. Then the point is not who is doing it. The point is it is possible to do it. And now, of course, I'm sure people have looked at this post of why he believes so, and he's claiming that one contract is using 40% of the network. This is the reason, and so on. And he quotes some old transactions, which is saying that oh, there was a lot of funds which you can link to Block.one. Now this is crazy, because if you really open this Ethereum token, you will see that these hundreds of thousands of EOS which he's talking about, which somebody bought, they are more than 6 months old transactions. So I don't want to go into details. I think Ethereum Reddit is known for creating a lot of FUD for EOS, because it's a very divided world. People are not accepting new technologies easily because they just love their coins. I think we need to look at it at a very, very objective way, and let me focus on what is the real problem here. The real problem is, let me go to the EOS network monitor, and we have this much higher level of spamming being done on EOS than Ethereum, and that is being done by good parties as well as bad parties. So if you will see, I think this has disappeared, but yesterday I was showing you those block Twitter, and there is another account which was talking about EOS to the moon, or some comment like that, or they were doing something like we love BM. So BM stands for Bytemaster, which is the online name for Dan Larimer. So that is something which has been happening, which is almost like a spam, much higher level of spam than what Ethereum faced, and they are totally clogged. And this is something we need to focus on, that what EOS is capable of. And we are talking about 1275 all-time high transactions per second, and we are hardly touching that now, because of course when they here we have again, I think you see this love BM and block Twitter. So we have this spamming happening continuously on EOS, and we still have a very, very functional free transaction based network, while Ethereum gas prices are shooting up because of a little bit of spamming by somebody, and that doesn't recover for a very long time, because all your transactions get queued up, and the gas prices stay there for a very long time even after the spamming is done. And in EOS, on comparison, even while spamming is happening, you have a functional network. People are making real transactions in parallel to spam, and that is something people should discuss, and not who is doing spamming on Ethereum. People should be talking about why Ethereum cannot succeed if just one person can spam a blockchain which is targeting mass deployment. And this is the only reason why, means I don't care about all the FUD, and I focus on technology and performance, and that's the reason we believe in EOS, and not because all the politics around it. Of course there are challenges, and we have been talking about it, about the block producers and so on. And as you know that while we are at this screen and looking at block producers, I would say that some of these block producers are not really the best which we want to keep in the top. And as we have been discussing, like we do want a Grey Mass and a Cypherglass kind of block producer in top 21. Those are some of the good block producers. We have seen them contribute continuously. EOS Tribe has been contributing a lot. Generous and a lot of other block producers, I think, should be supported better, and that is what we should focus on, and that is what is going to be exciting. But overall, I think it's a great day. We have improving market, so hopefully this will help all the EOS investors, and if we can keep the momentum, hopefully we will turn things around. And as I said, I think there's good news is more and more money is lining up on EOS, because Block.one is still focused completely on EOS, and they're going to make this a blockchain which will really make a difference. So thanks again for joining. Please like our videos and subscribe to our channel if you are not already subscribed, and we will come back with more and more content for you to cover and make sense of the news. Thank you. Bye bye.